What's up, good people? It's your boy Tim coming at y'all with another ramble session. Touch on a few things that's rambling and rattling up in my head. What's today? August 10th, I believe, 2025. So, I've been scrolling YouTube and social media lately, and I see that we're being baited to a race war. I know a lot of people have been saying it. I see it. We're being baited to a race war. A part of me feels like it needs to happen because it's the only way we're going to find some real common ground of peace for every race. You know what I mean? We as black people, we tired of being on the bottom. We tired of getting the shit end of the stick. And we just, we come from greatness. So what y'all expect? That we're going to just always lay down when it's been proven through history that we are going to uprise. And it's not just us at this point. You even got other nationalities who's speaking out on our behalf. And I hate to say black because black is death. It means death. It's a curse. It's a real curse word if you ask me. But yeah, we have a lot of, if I'm not on TikTok, but if you are on TikTok and, I have access to TikTok, but I'm not, I don't have an account on TikTok, but I do have access. And a lot of people are waking up to the fact, I just saw this, this young Caucasian woman basically say that she, it's a deep rooted situation as far as black people are concerned, saying that, it shouldn't be this much effort to religiously destroy and physically and spiritually destroy a group of people such as black people for centuries. And it must be a bigger reason than that, other than a skin tone. And it has to be, because if skin tone really mattered, then Indians, Arabic nations, Africans, and I'm talking about from the continent of Africa, get more respect than American blacks. Well, while they're over there. When they get over here, they get treated the same way because they can't differentiate. They don't give a damn. They just know and think that they're black too. It's all coming to a head and it's bubbling up to the surface to where, it's like a powder keg of all of the nonsense that's bubbling up to the top, and it's about to explode any day now. Any day now, just like Malcolm X said. Any day now. All chickens come home to roost. You can't keep a lie forever. Everything being exposed. You got record number of historians fleeing the country. And it's just really no keeping the lid on this thing anymore. So, that's, it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, and I only say it's a bad thing because, I have a 1-year-old son who is innocent. And, he don't wish anybody wrong or harm. He's not even fully cognitive enough to even hate anybody. You know what I mean? But he has to endure and reap the nonsense of this world. You know what I mean? We did, like Tupac say, I was given this world, I didn't make it. That's how I feel about my son. I look into his eyes every day and I feel a great pride, great happiness, but also a great sorrow because of the things that are coming in the future. But the great happiness that I feel is I feel in his lifetime it will be a true liberating experience for him to not have to go through the discrimination of his skin color, or should I say his birthright, because that's what it's truly about. If you know anything about history, if you don't, I suggest you do your research and do your own due diligence to find out where you truly belong and fit in this world, in this life. We all have a role to play. It's a hierarchy and everything. So I just, the way things are going, any day now is going to be, and I'm not afraid of a race war. You know what I mean? No matter how much they think that we're not organized, which we aren't largely, but guess what? That ain't scaring us. It might be empowering them to make a foolish decision to say, okay, now is the time. And that's going to be the unraveling of this whole system, because they're going to be surprised how much aid we truly have, spiritually and physically. You know what I mean? Don't forget that the Father said it is his determination to gather the nation. So, a lot of y'all don't believe in that. They call it spookism. I know a few people who like spookism. I don't believe in that, but hey, don't. You know what I mean? But I know it's real. You can't, no man, this landmass is not man-made. If it was, then, it would be a lot worse, because they'll be able to control and manipulate things. Even if they can't control and manipulate the weather, they'll mean they can control and manipulate the causality of things. They just can't. You can't escape what's real, and you can't undo what's done. So, this system, it's not even a white and black thing at this point. It's a good versus evil thing. You know what I mean? Because you got white and black folks on the side of evil as well as the side of good. So that's what's really coming to a head at this point. So what are we going to do? Nothing. I mean, we're going to do something, but we're going to continue to put our best foot forward and strive for our goals, our private goals, as far as our personal goals, and, try to be good humanitarians to everybody else in the process. If you believe in that sort of thing, if you want that sort of thing. If not, then, the universe has its way of weeding things out that don't belong. And it's all gonna come full circle. It's damn near full circle. And these are great liberating times, even though, the struggle for a lot of us is real. The lack thereof for a lot of us is real. And it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about anybody at the end of the day. You got some people who wear their hearts on their sleeve like myself, which is why I'm such of a loner, because I'm too free-hearted and too loving and too kind and too outgoing to goodly, peaceable matters and people. I'm the type that will give my last to a homeless person, and have before. You know what I mean? And I don't care if it's my last $2, $5, $20, $25. I know that everything's gonna be all right for me, and I don't give it for the sole purpose of getting a blessing in return, or should I say, getting blessing in return just for the simple fact it's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? Because I know if I was in that situation, I would definitely want somebody to, to help me. Well, I can't say somebody, but I would pray to God and say, God, please help me. And if he send that help through the form of a person, I'm not going to deny that thereof, because my pride stands in the way. No, I know that a wise man knows that he knows nothing at all. Therefore, I'm going to thank the heavens, which is the Father who art in heaven, who looks down low on all of us. They say absolute power corrupts. So anyone in form of power always, abuses that power to an extent, but you got the ones who are governing us over all in this society that we live in, who is truly going to their head. It's truly going to their head. Why? Because they don't want to relinquish that power. And I know that the system fears for the people that they have in subjugation to rise up because their fear of that same subjugation against them. So, which is going to make it all the sweeter. Let me get close for that. It's going to make it so sweet, man. I'm talking about, I could taste it. It's so sweet. I'm talking about toothache is so sweet. But it's real because, even if I don't see it in my lifetime, my belief and faith thereof will not be in vain, will not be voided out. So, and a lot of these people in power are miserable. That's why they, micromanaging and trying to control every aspect, which they can't, which is why they panicking right now, in full panic mode. So before, like I tell my wife all the time, before they give my people, so-called black people, the throne, they will destroy it. They will burn down the house before they give it to us. And they can try as they will, try as they might. It is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And even if they do succeed in burning down the house, we're just going to find a better one. We're going to build a better one, a durable one, a stronger one, a peaceable one. True harmony. Because one thing the adversary don't want is you to be happy. So this race war that they baiting, I say, Yah's will be done. And Yah is his real name. Y-A-H. Some people say Yahweh, some people say Ahia, some people say Yahuwah. But Yah. Hold on, let me see if it's in Psalm 68 and 4. Let's pull that up real quick. Psalms. Oh Lord, where's my glasses? Bear with me, people. There we go. Now, I used to have a Bible that, I don't know who's calling me, but yeah, Psalm 68 and 4. Psalm 68 and 4. Where is it? That's not it. Psalm 65. Did I just skip a whole thing? Okay, it's stuck together. No wonder. Psalm 68 and 4. Sing unto God is what it says, but sing unto God, sing praises to his name, exalt him that rise upon the heavens by his name, Jah, and rejoice before him. So it starts down here. Is that right? That's 66. Okay, here it is right here. If you can see that. All right, there we go. It starts down there and it ends right there. See, it says Jah. But in my other Bible, it says Yah, Y-A-H. Misprint? Think not. Which confirmed, because when I first came into the truth of things, which was what, 2014? 2014. I was, because shout out to Watchman and Deborah. Watchman Reports. Subscribe to his channel on YouTube. He has awakened my spirit. That first whited out that I've seen, man, it blew my mind to the point to where it woke me up and put a fire inside me that You know, so when I met my wife shortly after, I introduced her to that, and she did not dispute it. Like, her spirit stood up within her and testified, because the truth bear witness unto itself. So, excuse me, and that's exactly what happened. And that union in which was formed in the truth with me and my wife made us prominent. So let no man put asunder what the Father had put together. And you know, that's one of our favorite quotes from the Bible. You know, no man put asunder what the Father has put together, because He brought us together under the pretenses of spiritual pretenses and the rightfulness of our heritage and lineage that woke us up. Like, I'm talking about. So, Watchman and Deborah, I appreciate y'all. Sister Deborah, definitely appreciate you. Watchman, oh man, you heaven sent. Both of y'all are heaven sent. John Boy, he further strengthened my spirit through his music. Like, seriously, if y'all don't know who John Boy is, get up on John Boy. If you want some goodly music, some encouraging music, while getting gems at the same time, John Boy and Yarika, same, you know, even New Breed, Zabak, he aided to all of that, you know, the 14th Street Israelites. Like, I used to watch all of that, you know what I mean? I still watching Yarika, still catch John Boy when I can. Watchmen reports, I catch them every Shabbat, if possible. Awakening Remnant, goodness gracious, my mind just went blank. The Moray, appreciate you and Holder. I appreciate all y'all. I mean, it's a long list. It's a long list. GOCC or GGOC, brother. Oh Lord, Elder Lawyer and brother Ricard. Hey, they doing the work, and you can't dispute. You know, and it's a lot of camps, it's a lot of division within Israel, which has always been, which is why we was put out in the first place. All the killing, the murder, the slandering, the sleeping with wives, the covetousness, all of that is what aided to our downfall, and which is why we were sent. You know, when the Father gave Moses or should I say Moshe, the commandments, that was part of it. If we would not, you know, because the wedding ceremony dictated, if we did not abide by the covenant thereof, then we would be what we are, which is in the land of our captivity. Now, it's a lot of awakening to us being the true Indians of this land. And if you know anything about history, you know Indians was over here. They call them Indians because, you know, the whole story with Christopher Columbus saying he's going to India and landed here, so he started calling people Indians. Yeah, the true Indians are over there. The true Indians are on the 7-Eleven corner store, who the red dots, you know, that don't really care for us largely. You know, you know, everybody has, well, I can't say everybody, but a lot of other nationalities have drunken the Kool-Aid of America, which is to put down. And it's another thing I was saying to my wife. You notice all the prosperous other nations that is residing over us and are allowed to open businesses in our neighborhoods and our communities are the ones who agreed to continue the lie of who we are. So they're given our privilege, the privilege that we should have. They're given. You know what I mean? They get tax free when they come over here. They get all of this stuff. You know, Donald Trump. You know, I don't even want to get into the whole Donald Trump thing, but you know, it's a reason for everything. It's a method to the madness, and you know, even though they feel like they're playing chess, they're obviously making checker moves because it's visible. Like, it's very visible now. People can see what they're doing from a mile away. You know what I mean? They got the police and the military to police and govern our people, to uphold the strict injustice against my people. So, what can we do? What should we do? I tell you what, you could and should do. Holy Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth, or biblical instructions before leaving earth, is what you should do. Implore the Father in your life, and He will not lead you astray. He will not forsake you. Be upright, be peaceable, be earnest, be a good steward in all things, and strive rightly. Long suffering is to live. So to be alive is to long suffer. We dying anyway. I'm dying right now. You know what I mean? Not literally. Well, literally and figuratively. You know what I mean? Because every minute that I'm alive is closer to, it's aging me to that inevitable death day. Do I fear death? I used to. I don't anymore. As a kid, because I used to have a lot of deep thoughts as a kid. I'm a water sign, if you believe in that type of thing. I'm an empath because of my water sign, which means the deeper of the depths is what I go. You know what I mean? I think about things unseen and things unthought. I try to. You know what I mean? And like the Father say, some things we can't even seek out. We can't even fathom to even seek out. So, but I used to always think about death, you know what I mean? And as a child, you think, nobody wants to die. When you first learn of death and you're cognitive of death and knowing that death for a child means no more, kaput, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, Lord, I don't want to die. So I used to pray to God a lot as a kid, and I'm talking about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. Like, God, please, I don't want to die. I used to fear death because I remember as a 10-year-old child, me picking up the Bible, because I grew up in the church, you know what I mean? In a Baptist church, to be exact, Christian. And my grandmother, she was very strict, and she, we the type that, my grandmother was the type that, we ate together as a family, and before, after grace, we all would have to say something pertaining to the Bible. So, after grace, she was like, and nobody could eat until everybody said what they said. So my cousin used to always tell me, because I wasn't that well versed, so I used to try to use the same verse every week, which is "Thou shalt not steal." She use something else. And I look at my cousin, and if I couldn't think of anything, she'll give me something and then chastise me thereafter to basically get a better relationship with spiritual matters and with the Bible and with Jesus and Jesus, which is Yahshua or Yeshaya or Yahawashai is what some call Yeshua, Yeshua. It's a few names, but the Messiah. I sum it up by saying the Messiah. And I me personally, I say Yahshua. She'll give me something to say, because the Ten Commandments is easy. By the time I got to come from a big family, so by the time it get to me, I'm I'm basically repeating what's been said. So the Ten Commandments is usually started, and it was more than 10 people at the table. So I couldn't use that. So Jesus wept was another one. She would accept that, and that's just the strictness that I came from. She instilled in us spiritual matters and spiritual things. So, and I say all of that because what was my point? Oh yeah, when I was 10 years old, the first book I've ever read out of the Bible was the Book of Revelations. And a lot of people say that's the scariest book in the Bible, but it summed up which way I should go in this life, what side I should be on. It summed up everything, good and evil. And we as children are taught to be good, to do what's good, to choose good. So, of course, I was inclined to, choose life and not death. And my name is Timothy, biblically. So, and Timothy means to be a deacon. If you read the book of Timothy, 1 Timothy, Timothy was a deacon. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's the calling on my life. I'm still trying to figure it out. I pray to the Father all the time to even reveal to me my spiritual gifts, because I'm good at a lot of things, but I don't know what my gift truly is, other than me having a natural discernment for spiritual things. I can really see the spiritual matters in situations, and I don't know if that is my gift or that's just an ability. You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure we all share that ability. But I personally am not afraid of this race war that they're baiting us in. You know, I feel for people. It's gonna be real chaotic. You know what I mean? You know, the wailing and the outcries that will come from that is, you know, something I often think about, because I know it's not gonna be a good situation, and you know, a lot of us gonna lose loved ones. You know, and I pray for the Father's favor that it doesn't happen to me, but His will be done, not mine. I can just only ask Him. Devastatingly so, to the point to where some people are going to be, you know, it's going to be a lot of astonishment of heart, and I don't want to lose myself, and I hope and I pray and hope that y'all don't lose yourselves in the aftermath of that, because we still have to do what's right. You know, His will be done, and I conquered death through that way of thinking, because once I conquered death, and I conquered death through the means of, you know, just imploring the Father's wisdom and seeking Him, and when I realized it was a part of life, it's nothing I can do anyway. It's when I accepted it fully, and I know that's the sentiment of a lot of people out here. So, you know, everything else will fall into place. But this race war and this racial tension that's in the air nowadays, I don't know why they're so afraid of us, because if it was in our hearts to do so, it would be so. Believe that. It would have been a bunch of mess. But we are the chosen for a reason. Forgiveness is real. And if we can forgive our oppressors, which we largely have, a lot of people like we foolish, you know, you got some so-called black people that even speak out against other black people because they're like, you know, we foolish. I want my retribution. Of course I want retribution for what has been done to my ancestors and my people. But it's not for us. He said, wait, therefore, on me. And not me, as in me, but as in Him. So, you know, and He meant what He said when He said no man can save you. So, you know, which is the reason for the martyrs of our people, which is Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and it goes back further than that. Nat Turner, all of them, you know what I'm saying? And before then, Harriet Tubman, all of that. You know, they were all martyrs of some, because no man shall save us. So what do? Implore the Father, seek Him diligently. Because only when we repent will He turn His face towards us and forgive our sins. So I say all that to say, you know, it all ties into each other. People like, I don't do religion. You know, religion is division. I do spirituality. He didn't give us religion. He gave us a spirit to discern with and to see goodly things and to see deceitful things and decisive things and be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. So with that being said, Shalom, brethren.